Ross, it's super to have you on the podcast. Thanks for your time. Just as an opener, with decades spent in journalism for one of the most well-respected broadcasters in the world, the BBC, you must have plenty of practice honing your skills and getting your message across. And partly that culminated in your book, which is a super read, and I'd recommend it to anyone who's interested in communication and who isn't. But you still have plenty of career left in you. I was just curious about what motivated you to write the book now.
Well, first of all, thank you very much indeed for inviting me on. Thanks too for looking at the art of explanation. There are a couple of reasons why I ended up writing the book. One was that a few years ago, as our explainer videos started to get, their popularity started to move through the gears, and outside sources, a TV format was doing well on BBC television as well. Quite a few people, both within the BBC and outside the BBC, would come up to me or my colleagues who make the videos with me or make outside source with me, and they would say variations on, how are you doing this? How are you taking on these complex news stories and distilling it down into a way which feels comprehensive enough to be really useful, but also accessible enough to be really useful? And sometimes I would say, well, actually, I've got a system I use to try and help me take on complex subjects and to communicate in a variety of situations on the news and outside of it. And quite often they were interested in that. They were interested in the fact that underpinning my work, both the journalist and other work too, was an approach to explanation and communication. And so that kind of made me think, well, perhaps this is something that if I shared it, people might find useful.